Hey guys, it's Mathil here once again with the HyaonClone character. It is now level 89 on Warbands, and as always with a new build we have to do an Atziri Run and video just to show off how well the character can do compared to other characters. At this stage I'm using a shield rather than a foil in the offhand, and the reason for that is there's really actually not too much reason to use a second weapon for dual action. The shield, by wearing shield I get something like 1 or 2k less DPS than with a foil, and I gain all that evasion, all that life, and plenty of resists so that I can use Devoto's Devotion as well. So with that I gain another 20% move speed and a bit of attack speed. So I think it's kind of up to you, but yeah, that's a pretty strong combo, and I don't see much point in dual wielding anymore. Simply because there's just not that much damage increase, and the survivability you gain is well worth it, I think. Especially once you get to the higher maps, because as I've started doing 79s, 77 plus, that type of thing, I have been getting hit pretty hard on certain bad map mods, and having that extra life buffer and evasion really does help. Whereas having an extra 1k DPS barely does anything because my DPS is already completely insane. So as you can see, trash clear is pretty comfortable. All you gotta do is just spin through everything. Don't really stop too often. I don't think I've ever seen strongboxes in an Atziri zone before. I could be wrong. Anyway, case in point, keep spinning on top of over everything, don't really stand still and get hit, because that's when bad things happen. You have more than enough movement speed with the cyclone to spin through and not let anything get a hit off on you. Yeah, I really can't remember strongboxes in a Atziri zone before. Well, in any case, good shit. Extra loot, extra XPs. So the build's downfall and weakness is kind of single target boss fights, things that go for longer than instant death. Because the build thrives off of momentum. And here you start out with completely zero momentum. So I have to start off by attacking with Frenzy to gain all my Frenzy charges, and on top of that you don't really get any of your sustain, which comes in the form of life on kill. Let's do that as well, because I forgot to. So you sub in Conk Effect over increased area for the actual boss fights themselves. Pop all your flasks and your Vial skills, and you should be okay. That went pretty terribly though, because I was still subbing in my Conk Effect when the fight even started. Okay though, we survived, no big deal. That should go a lot smoother for you if you come in prepared. But as I was mentioning, momentum is kind of the problem with the build. So the Atziri trio themselves, for example, are a bit of a tough fight, especially if you come in with 0 frenzy charges. So I try and keep up my 8 frenzy charges and run in as soon as I kill the last piece of trash, because the goal is to pop both fire skills and kill Chaska the Rainmaker before she has a chance to do anything. And then the remaining 2 fights aren't that bad on your character, it's just a bit of a cat and mouse where you have to run around and take your opportune moments to kill them. Whereas with Chaska, it's kind of just a 50-50 of whether you die or not, because she'll either one-shot you or she'll do nothing. So put on our Conk Effect again, get Frenzy charges up, and we're good to go. Name of the game is momentum. Try and keep Fortify up as often as possible on this fight by whirling through the monsters. And also keeping your frenzies up is kind of important. Get the golem up too. He'll take some random hits for you, as Golem Bro always does. And that's about as smooth as that can possibly get for the trio. The only real threat to you is Chaska the Rainmaker, who can just drop a rain on you and it'll instantly one-shot you, even with 47% evasion and 75% dodge and a bit of block. It's pretty silly. So yeah, Atziri runs themselves can go from, you know, anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, and it will usually be, at worst, 1 death if you play it correctly. Sometimes Chaska does kill me, and that's just a fact of life, I think. Sometimes she kills me, and I really don't know what to do about it. I couldn't do anything about it, but quite often you just get away with it and it won't be that bad. Atziri herself is not much of a problem, especially if you know how to face Atziri and have done it on many other characters. You might just have to pull off a few little dodges here or there, but for the most part she's fairly controllable. Keep up your frenzies with single target frenzy. Try and keep them up just before the split phase so that you carry them over and instantly kill one of the clones, I guess you'd call them. Now, since we don't have life leech, we have actually no sustain whatsoever, meaning you have to just use flask to stay alive. So she's about to split phase, kept our frenzy charges up. Feel free to get fortify up as well. But as you can see, the kills are pretty damn quick. I do recommend trying to keep fortify up at all times, it's pretty solid. So just constantly spin through her with your whirling blades. Don't forget the conductivity, I often do. Forget, that is. And obviously having a fire flask would be beneficial, but I go without it. I would probably replace my Atziri flask, if anything, for a fire flask for this fight, just to be safe. And the ad of choice to attack is the Flame Blaster, because when you spin on top of her with your Arctic armor, you chill her, and that causes her to cast a lot slower, which gives you extra time to dodge the Flame Blasts. So go out of your way to kind of look for the Flame Blaster and spin on top of her over anything else. Unless you particularly find this Spear Thrower threatening, in which case spin on top of the Spear Thrower. The point is, chill whichever one you think is going to kill you the most. So here's a Flame Blaster for me. And pretty easy stuff. She really doesn't want to die, it seems. But she has no say in the matter. So with Conk Effect, we have 47k DPS buffed up. Without it, it is 30k, but completely unbuffed to a 16.9 at this point. There's not much upgrades to the gear I could really make. Just a few jewellery upgrades could go a bit of a long way, as well as +1 frenzy on boots and +1 frenzy on amulet, but that's quite a lot to ask for, so I'm not sure I'll ever get there. So in any case, that wasn't Atziri Run with the HyaonClone character. You can probably start doing it around level 80, as long as you have solid gear and understanding of Atziri. But as always, I'm Mathel, thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.